sir.
Hey.
Well, everyone knows what I look like now, so nice knowing you guys.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
know.
change my graphic back to my shadowy self.
What?
and I'll be fine.
But you look so lovely. I don't even know which
Hey,
one
you
you
look
are.
there. Nice
We can
shirt,
see you,
nice-
Steve.
You lie like
No.
a dog through its teeth.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're not hearing any weird music playing right
Oh,
now.
you jinxed it. Jinxed
now
I
it's
know.
gonna
Fuck. Fuck. I shouldn't have said anything. Knock on.
Get the remix
This isn't even.
bar. Okay,
This is
there we
like
go.
cardboard.
Let me know. Let me know if it does, and I'll tilt the thing a little bit again. And
Yeah, we need you to get your antenna somewhere, whatever. I don't know. Anyway,
an antenna.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome
Hey.
to Geeks
Hey.
with Kids, the internet's geekiest podcast that, sometimes remembers to give, parenting point of view. I don't know. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Who knows? I am the host of this episode, and joining me this week is Steve, Hawk, Matt, and Markus. How's it going, guys?
Hi.
Good.
Hey,
Yeah, buddy.
I have my coffee.
Yeah, that's all.
Stronger.
Yeah.
That's all we need. My name is Matt. Matt Moore, you just went.
Indeed.
Yes. Anyway,
I'm here. I'm here.
That looks so.
it sounded like you were gonna say something, and then you were just
lighting.
like,
Yeah. Oh, and he's gonna put on some
Oh, I
poses.
never.
yeah.
Give us the people's eyebrow.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the over the shoulder. Yes. now, if you're listening to
Totally changed
this,
the lighting.
If anyone knows who the hell I am, that would probably be impressive. But they don't. That's okay.
now if you're listening to this on the podcast form, you're probably wondering why we're talking about the video. That's because we are actually streaming this live on Twitch right now. We're doing this on Mondays, and whenever we record an episode, I think we're gonna just put it live on Twitch for people to see. We are everywhere. You could follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. We are everywhere, sort of like the coronavirus at a Republican rally.
Wow.
Oh, we just got right into that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep. So
We're going live. We're reaching out to people. Maybe we should not talk about politics. Yeah, I'm only going to mention one small thing.
yes.
It's
So
no big deal. It's like a tickle in my throat.
oh yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. But before
Nothing
we
to be afraid of.
I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Hey.
before we get into the continued funny, on a sad note, I just wanted to send our love towards Nick Mailer and his friends. He passed away recently. He's a friend of the show. He was on previous episodes. So if you have a chance, check out our Marvel episode, or what other ones was he on? The Batman one.
There's a few, yeah.
He was on a number. He was also on Foot and Friends, that podcast. So you'll be able to listen to his thoughts over there about film. He was a big film fan and a comic fan, and he was he will always have a place in our hearts. He was a good guy. So let's jump into this show. What is good is what we start off with. It's where I ask these folks what is good in our Matt Moore's giving me some faces and I'm confused. What is good in our what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matt Moore. I don't know, or unless you're gonna do
Okay.
your rant first.
No. It's just fine. Just because I know what happens literally every single time we do this. So I was just preemptively
You're
panicking for
spared.
everyone to see my face when I do that.
You're spared. I won't be.
I know you, Steve. You're usually the good one. It's other people who shall remain hawkless that tended to do that. That's okay though. So you're asking me what's good?
What is good, Matt Moore?
What is good? I mean, we're in autumn now. I just turned 40 a week or so ago. So I made it to 40. So I think I beat the over under on that.
It was really sad because I had plans to, if the coronavirus was gone, we were gonna do our wing challenge.
I know, and it wasn't
Wing
unfortunate,
challenge.
but we're doing a spicy wing challenge as soon as
Yeah.
we can actually.
Can we do a virtual wing challenge? I
Yo,
I'd
I'm
be
up for that. I am
I mean,
so down for.
Here's
Oh.
the thing, though. If we're gonna do that, we need a lot of people to vet the actual hot sauces. 'Cause I mean, I
Right,
could be
right,
like, I
right,
put all
right.
these different sauces on this, and it's ketchup because I'm
Yes.
shaved. I would do that to win.
It's
I don't think it's a win
Set
thing.
it
It's
up.
more of a let's talk and let's see how much truth comes out as we go
Eric,
further
it's-
down.
Always about winning.
I know.
I don't know. To me, it's about the sacredness of the wing, but
Yes.
that's a whole other.
But I think we definitely, and the listeners can let us know this. We are definitely planning on doing this once we are able to congregate together, all of us safely. We are definitely going to annihilate our stomach linings and taste buds with this tasty hot wing.
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about,
Or entertainment.
if you don't know what we're talking about, watch Hot Ones on YouTube, and those are pretty much the sauces that we're gonna have, or at least some of
Oh,
them.
I know. I've got some
God.
in my archive that I haven't even cracked open yet that I'm gonna unleash on us because I hate myself.
I love it. I love it.
I know.
We can do homemade sauces.
I mean, sure.
Are they vetted homemade sauces?
I wonder.
What if I send homemade sauces to everybody?
Yeah.
There we go.
I was gonna say we have to do the same sauces, or it's not gonna make sense.
I mean, we could do that.
That's what I think that'd be great.
I don't doubt it. I mean, it's a bit to me like a step above. It doesn't smell like chloroform, but I mean, I trust you.
I've seen you make
Doesn't
stuff.
glow.
It's
Sure
always
you have.
it's always good whenever you make
Yeah.
something. So I can't
I trust
imagine.
it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I would commute out to your abode so I could acquire some hateful sauce.
Yes.
What else is good? Sorry, we sort of jumped on the wing thing.
Well, because wings are delicious.
They are
so good.
Let's see. There's that. I'm in the midst of a very, very passionate love-hate relationship with fucking Fortnite.
You're still playing that. Oh shit.
I can't not. I invested in the battle pass. I have to at this
Oh,
point.
no.
Oh no!
Honeys.
You took that step.
It's the Marvel. It's the Marvel battle pass. I had to do it just to get the characters because it was the,
Oh, you had to do it.
I had to.
You had
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
I-
either that battle pass or the Avengers one.
I shit the bed so hard on the Call of Duty Battle Pass Season 5 that I had to redeem myself with this. So I've already almost completed it in like a week and a half because it's Fortnite and it's basic, but hateful. And you Fortnite seasons or not Fortnite Season 6, Call of Duty Warzone Season 6 just launched, and I'm very excited about that. I also
Here's the
Pass.
thing. Did you get the battle pass for that as well?
I did, yes.
Oh goodness, you're
I just-
screwed, my friend. I don't know what you're gonna do with your life now.
I work weekends at this point in time with all the new restrictions, so I
okay.
have a lot of spare time during the week.
Okay. Never mind. I take that back.
And I also don't sleep till like
Godspeed.
4 or 5 a.m. So like, it's fine. And also again, with it now being officially October, we are in the midst of spooky season, which means every streaming channel has horror movies getting dumped on it like they're on fire, and it makes me so happy right now that I can finally get caught up on horror movies.
It's the most wonderful
It is.
time.
Yes, it is,
of the
absolutely.
year.
Yeah.
Speaking
Like,
of spooky
all of the
movies,
channels.
you are doing the next episode too, right? You're doing the spooky Halloween episode.
Yep. So yeah, horror movie roundup part 2. Any questions?
Nice. You got to play it up. You got to. Yeah.
Pumpkins.
Now the question is, are we going to dress up for this podcast?
Absolutely. Like,
Interesting.
why would if we're going live now? Why wouldn't we?
That's fair.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
yep, yeah, I like that.
And if people, I don't know, Twitch is Twitch where you can donate bits and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Only if
okay,
you're
yeah.
affiliate, and we are affiliate.
Hey, that's all right. So maybe we
Nice
can work
segue.
out, we can work out something where if the people donate a lot of bits, they can recommend costumes for me to wear. I don't care. I'll do anything shamelessly for money,
That's fair.
within reason and legalities. We are still Canadian after all.
And
Would-
children on the internet, and people on the internet. There's only so much we can
yeah.
show.
Gotta be mindful. We still have that big blue E though, so fuckity fuck.
All right. Is that good?
Yeah,
that's it.
It wasn't that big of a Fortnite rant. I love it. I hate it. It's the devil, but I can't stop. It's
To be clear, I whenever I do bring it up, I'm not laughing at you, Matt. I actually genuinely did install it, and I do genuinely want to kind of check it out based on
Yeah.
your curiosity from last time. So if you're still playing it and you're kind of more on the
I
love
am-
side,
I'm not
join you.
full hatred on it, but it's only because I got through the hardest part of the battle pass was unlocking Wolverine, and I finally did that last night, so I don't hate it as much anymore. Because the rest of it's just keep leveling up and you'll unlock all these other characters, and I don't care that much about it to worry about it. The Wolverine was the goal.
The idea of it being Dum Dum Warzone appeals to me.
It is. That's. And I mean that the throw for those listeners that didn't catch the last one, I literally equated Fortnite to dumbed down Call of Duty Warzone because it basically is.
so offensive.
also-
I'm curious to see if that analogy is true. Like that's the thing. Like I haven't gone back since that one time I played it with Eric, right? So
I
We
will
almost
addend
won.
that-
I'm
I'll
just saying.
addend
Yeah,
it
we did.
slightly because it's dumbed down, but you also have the addition of being able to build structures, so it actually
Yeah.
makes it a little easier to move around because you can build stairs.
If you can build.
Or if
that's-
you're like me and some of the other people I play with, where you just build giant staircases to nowhere just to see how high you can get the staircase before someone destroys it.
That's the way. This is
It's
the way.
always fun.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Just a way.
Speaking of staircases, I don't know why I said that. Hawk.
So what is yummy?
I
What
didn't
is
make
your
it.
yum?
I did
What
make
is
it,
yummy?
guys.
I needed it before Steve.
I feel better now.
It'd be one of
So
us.
my yummy over the last week
Oh,
or so
God, it doesn't
has
stop.
been going back to rewatch Justified, which is on Amazon Prime.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, great show based on a short story by Elmore Leonard called Fire in the Hole, and that it stars Timothy Oliphant and Walton Goggins. It takes place in Kentucky, and if you're a fan of Elmore Leonard and that, you kind of get the tone that it's the dramedy crime thriller kind of genre. It's gone 6 seasons. It's fantastically written, fantastically acted. There's a lot of great guest appearances.
The reason I actually checked it out the first time is because I want to make sure I get his name. Walton Goggins.
Yes.
Yeah. I have loved everything that he does every time I see him on screen.
He's
So
such
I
a
was kind of
creepy looking guy.
he's got such a creepy, awful kind of look, but at the same time, he's intriguing. He
Yes.
like, he's got that kind of chameleon thing. But I know it's him every time. But I just love watching him in shit. But yeah,
Did you ever
good call.
see him in The Shield?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in like Ant-Man and the Wasp? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a villain in
played,
it.
like, this-
Yeah.
He played a terrible like crime boss, like who was kind of like half incompetent the entire time.
Yeah.
But it was kind of perfect. It was like a nice fun role for him.
Yeah, fun one.
So
That should have been.
normally
That should have been
he was
Sam
he was-
Rockwell. That should have been Sam Rockwell's
Oh,
character.
Sam Rockwell,
It
I
should
love
have
him so fucking much. But he was already in the.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
already
Yeah,
in
he
there.
should have been that character for.
He should have. It should have just
Would've
been
been-
Justin Hammer doing that shit.
Yeah, it would have made more
been
sense.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyways, any
Sorry.
other yums, Hawk?
You son of a-
You
Stab you with a
people
pen.
disgust me.
As I was saying, a lot of great guest appearances in that. I caught Chadwick Boseman as a guest appearance in one episode.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah. Alan Tudyk showed up in season 5 for a guest role in that.
He's in everything.
Oh,
He's also in
so
everything.
good. But he's so good.
Anyway, so all 6 seasons are on Prime, so if you want to check it out, please do.
I've never seen it.
It's well worth the watch. It's well
Watch
worth
it.
the
It's
watch.
really good.
I should check it out. I'm watching something else right now, which I'll get to when I talk about stuff. Hey, Steve, what are you liking?
Hey.
What's your yum?
You son of a. I will kill you.
Yeah, same as every week. I'm making my way through my Horus Heresy novel series. I think I've polished off the first 10, or I'm still on one of the first 10. So I need to figure out a system to post this on the site, Eric. We'll have to talk about it. Just want to add little notes just so I can keep track of it and
For sure.
figure out which authors I like. But yeah, I'm committed now that I'm actually doing it in order. But to change it up a little bit, something actually I forgot about. I started playing this little game called Vermintide 2 a couple weeks ago, and it was on sale on Steam.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, except that it's the second one is very polished. It's very much its own thing. It is definitely, obviously, inspired by Left 4 Dead, and people will just say, "Oh yeah, it's like a medieval fantasy Left 4 Dead." But I think that that's not entirely fair. I think there's a really unique experience there, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's very addictive, and the characters all just like Left 4 Dead. They have conversations, and it's just a really immersive experience. So
I think I have that
really
game.
recommend it.
I
But
think
it's
I
a great
probably
it's a
do.
great co-op game, and it's a setting that is I guess it's kind of related. It's Warhammer Fantasy, which I know nothing about actually.
Is that not part of the 40K universe?
No. See, Games Workshop had a sci-fi and a fantasy setting for their miniatures games, and there's some discussion as to how they are related. I'm actually not an expert in that. I don't know that there really is real tangible connections. There are some loose ones, but so the fantasy universe, I just actually, frankly, I was never interested in, and I'm a little more curious now, but I'm loving the game. So at the very least, Vermintide 2, whether you care about Warhammer at all, it's just a really good time. You can be a dwarf, you can bash it, and you can be an elf, you can arrow
Bash it?
and then you can be a battle mage, you can fire shit. I mean, what more do you want, right? So anyway, that's my almost said it. Almost said it.
So
That's
close.
the thing
Yeah.
I'm
So
enjoying
close.
right now. No, you will not convert me.
Well, one day we're gonna catch you off guard, and it's gonna happen, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love
always
it.
have coffee. I will be fine.
Coffee and alcohol. One of them will slip you up. What about you, Marcus? What do you like in?
Coffee and alcohol.
I like that
Wait.
too.
Yeah, just the two together is perfect.
A little
I
Bailey's in
have-
the coffee.
Oh yeah, some nice
Oh,
fresh
yeah.
pots.
Fresh pots.
What?
Fresh pots. I'm gonna wake up my fucking baby and I'm screwed.
That sounds like a you problem, though.
That is a me problem. That is definitely me a problem. I've got a couple yums, some deliciousness. I love you, man.
You son of a
So a couple things in the Halloween spirit and everything. I've been listening to a lot of horror podcasts while I'm at work. So I just started back at work. This has been a couple weeks now, and it's I work in a shop, so I get to just listen to headphones all day long, and I'm in my own isolated area. Literally, that's all I do. So I have plenty of time to just listen to whatever I want. So I've been listening to a lot of horror podcasts and stuff, getting in the Halloween spirit, and I've been fucking loving them. And I can't believe I held out on lore for as long as I did.
Right?
And it is just the most magnificent thing, because as I was listening to a lot of fictional horror podcasts, which are great, the missing intrigue of actual history or actual like accounts is just kind of something that I love personally. So lore just has just that extra little bit that was perfect. If you're going to mention Radio Rental, I've already been there.
No. There's another one that you may not have, that I just stumbled upon a little while ago that I always forget to mention when we talk about this.
Gimme.
It's called Scared to Death.
Scared to Death. I have not listened to that yet, so I will check that out.
Have you heard of the podcast Time Suck?
Yes.
Same guy, Dan Cummings. It's him and his wife.
I haven't actually heard I haven't listened to Time Suck either, but I know about it.
He's a stand-up comic, but he does this. It's basically he and his wife each do like 2 or 3 like actual real like urban myth stories or like listener stories that are submitted, but they tell each other the story, so they try to just freak each other out the entire time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's a good.
That's kind of fun.
Also,
That's kind of fun.
they always drop it at I believe it's midnight on Tuesdays. They dropped, but they record it like we are. They record it live, but they don't air it live. But it's like they drop it on YouTube and on all the podcasting platforms.
We will be on YouTube as well. I'm just saying.
So you can watch. it. And they always have like slide pictures that they put up for stuff that they post on their Instagram as well. So it's like a full social immersive thing. But it's
I really appreciate when especially when I'm really into a podcast that they have so many like little tangible things that you could go to like with their Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts and stuff. I love that shit. It's brilliant. I finally got around to playing Cuphead. I've been wanting to play this for the longest time because it was always an Xbox kind of thing, and I just did not have it. I didn't want to do it on the computer or anything, and I just held off on the longest time. And then I was just going through the PlayStation store, and I was just like, "Oh fuck it, yeah, I'm gonna get Cuphead."
Damn straight.
It is the most beautiful thing. Like the artwork is fucking phenomenal, and I know it's been talked about many times, and I know people already hail it for it, but like the animation is incredible. And I love it to death. It is the most frustrating game.
Oh my god.
I've been screaming and yelling under my breath while like my baby takes naps, and I'm like but it is amazing. And if anybody out there has not played it, or you've held off as long as I have, just do it. Go play it. It's amazing, and it's not that expensive. Just fork over the money. It's incredible.
It's on every platform. It's about 20
bucks right now.
It's worth it for the amount of time you will spend hating yourself in the game.
You can spend more time on this game than in like some of those huge open world games, just because it's so difficult. But at the same time, when you finally get past something, you're like, "Oh,
it's
I'm
the most satisfying feeling."
It is one of the greatest things. Also, based on like after watching or listening to lore and stuff like that, it inspired me to get back into like the Brothers Grimm original kind of fairy tales and shit. And I am just loving the creepiness of all the original fairy tales. Like, so much better.
Now, are you reading those fairy tales to your child?
No, these are for me. These are actually for me for inspiration for some future projects that I want to work on.
All right.
So it's purely for me. One day he'll check it out. I'm sure, but that'll be his prerogative. The next cool thing, this is the last thing I'll talk about, is I got a package that arrived. And for anyone who doesn't know, I like to collect 1/6 scale figures. This is Juggernaut, or the Tank from Deadpool.
Wow.
And this is the biggest goddamn figure.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Ever seen. The details are incredible. He is huge and impressive, and I cannot wait to one day pose him like just mangling a Deadpool or Cable when I finally get him. It's just awesome. It's one of my little...
Who made it?
Why do they call him the Tank?
Because this was made by Toys Era, which is kind of an offshoot from, not licensed like most of the Hot Toys are. So they can't name things the correct things, you know. So like I think their Cable is called the Time Traveler, and you know, like they do that kind of stuff. But that being said, like their quality is almost the same. It's just a little bit less than Hot Toys, but their prices are way more agreeable.
Yeah. You don't have to sell a child for your Hot Toys.
Not yet.
They'll be
it's all about them payment plans, man. Just doing installments. I will eventually have to stop because it's becoming a problem.
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
None of us can relate to this problem.
I don't have 17 freaking lightsabers behind me. No.
Not 17.
Not 17 yet.
16.
Yet.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
In a row?
Eight in this room.
I got you, Matt Moore. Thank you. I will shout out Studio MDHR who made Cuphead. They're from Oakville. So you gotta love that Cuphead is a Canadian-made video game. One of my buddies,
Incredible.
is actually one of the singers for the music in that game, which is all done in a barbershop style.
For those terrifyingly addictive songs.
Yeah, nothing as happy as listening to scary barbershop music about being trapped in hell.
Yeah.
I got like legit like Haunted Mansion from Disney vibes from some of those songs, though, because it was the same kind of like we're gonna be like, oh, we're cool.
Yep. No, for sure.
Deal.
For sure. Let's see what else. Oh wait, it's my turn. I'm talking about my yummy, and I'm not talking about these cheesy fries that I'm eating right now.
How did it turn into yummy? It's even worse now.
I know.
My God.
Cheesy fries, you say?
Cheesy fries, and maybe this burger from Burger's Priest.
Why do you taunt me with food when I don't have it here? That's so.
I thought I ate before this. You people are terrible.
Hashtag Burger
chips.
Burger Priest sponsor us.
It's so good. Yeah, Burger Priest, please sponsor us. I know you're good guys.
I'll take I've met the Vatican you before. Burger.
Yep, this is the.
Yes.
The Pope, one of the popes of them. I don't remember which one it is.
I would take the 4 horsemen and deal with the discomfort of me consuming that.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, I got to record. There's no way I'm not going to die on stream tonight. Yeah. Not tonight, at least.
Do it for the views. Do it for the views.
So, what I've been liking recently, I've been playing Warzone like everyone else here. I got Star Wars Squadrons, and I've been playing that with flight sim people, which is actually really fun because they seem to know how to fly. And it's pretty much a Star Wars flight sim. If you played TIE Fighter or X-Wing from the 90s, it's more like that than playing Battlefront's flight
Starfighter mode.
Yeah, because it's way easier to kill things in Starfighter mode than it is to kill in this game. And there's a lot of management of weapons, shields, and engines while you're flying. So it's actually pretty fun when you're playing it well. I know the HOTAS, or hands on throttle and stick, isn't fully implemented. That's fair to say. I think there's only 3 brands that they're supporting right now, but they are planning on fixing that as they move forward, which is good because I'm getting a throttle and stick.
Oh. Is that on its way?
That sounds so dirty.
I will master. I will master this game like I master my stick. Wait.
I was like, oh, please just say this game. Oh no, he said it anyway.
Sorry, what was I? Sorry, what was that, Steve? Were you asking something? Or
no, I was asking if it's on its way or do you already have it.
I'm actually getting it from my buddy who actually reviews flight sims. My buddy Colin, cool, obviously, cool. So he has a couple flight sticks that he doesn't use because people just send him shit. If you ever are into flight sims, check out Stormbirds. Woo, we just got a follow by someone. Oh, the Macho Fan. Yay, hi.
Oh, dang.
And I just got the notifications in my ear, and I was like, but yeah, the Stormbirds blog does reviews on IL-2 and other flight sims. He recently talked about the Microsoft Flight Sim, and he talked about how people were flying into the tropical storm that just went through the States a little while ago because they pull real weather data from, I don't know.
Right. Wow.
The weather data people, whoever that is. Sorry about that. I'm coughing because I'm eating a very, very lovely hamburger and cheesy fries.
I have no sympathy for you. That's
No.
Oh wait, also I have this
clear.
milkshake.
Oh,
That's
In fact, bring all the boys to the yard.
it does because it's called a Riggs and Murtaugh, which is white ice cream mixed with chocolate milk.
that's brilliant.
It's wonderful. I do have a rant this week. Matt Moore, did you go on a rant already, or was it just a mini
I kind
rant?
of went on about
Mini.
Fortnite, but it wasn't. It was a mini one. I'm sure I'll piggyback off what you go on to, depending on what it is.
Okay, so recently Amazon released a new, I'm going to air quote that, new TV series called Utopia. They released all the episodes. It says it's created by Gillian Flynn, who created, I don't know, a bunch of movies. I can't remember. She's an author. Anyway, what people don't realize is that this is actually an adaptation of a 2013 UK TV show, who was created by Dennis Kelly. So the new one I'm watching on Amazon, I'm like, oh, the cast is really good. It has, what's his name? Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Rainn
Wilson, and there's some other people. John Cusack. Who's that? Fiona Dourif is in it, and a bunch of
nice.
yeah.
Oh.
So there's it's a
Yes, it's Brad's daughter.
Who does she play? I'm just slowly catching up on the series, and I think I'm 3 episodes in. So
you've met her. Her name is Kara.
Okay.
She's on the board, if that makes sense.
Okay. I don't think I've seen the board yet.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm watching this show, and I'm like, oh, it's good, but it's very generic. It's a generic adaptation of a UK show that was so brilliantly done, and the colors were so vibrant, and it was so moody, and it was dark. It was funny, but like black humor dark at times.
So it was British.
It was British. There are these two killers that you meet pretty early on in the show. Arby and what's the other guy's name? Arby and someone else. Anyway, when you meet him in the UK show, it's such a dark. I showed Hawk this scene. It was just the first scene of the whole show.
Oh, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
It's such a dark sequence in a comic book store, and then you see them in the US version, and they're sort of like parodies of themselves. Like I don't know if this guy's supposed to be like creepy or he's just like sad and lonely. But this whole show is like a watered down version. It's fine,
Wow.
and I'm sure I would have liked it if I didn't see the original version.
Yeah.
But like right now I'm just like I guess it's.
But
Isn't
I
this
mean-
true? That's true of like everything
I was
that
gonna
was
say,
originally
it's-
British that they then make American. You long for the British one because they did it right. The American ones always
Well,
try to make it more.
I won't say they don't. They don't always do right. They did it first. So I mean, right is because I mean, I look at The Office.
Okay,
They had the
The
argument-
Office seems to be the biggest exception to this rule,
Right.
but at the same time, like there's too many shows or there's too many times I've seen this happen where you're just like, oh, but the British one has the right feel, the right demeanor,
Yeah.
and you know what? Maybe it is just the fact that they did it first and you got used to that, or you got interested in that idea first.
Yeah, it's like the touchstone that people can then riff off of, but you're always going to go back to the original because that was the original.
So there's this whole mystery around this character named Jessica Hyde, and in the U.S. version, you're not sure. Well, you're pretty sure at this point, I guess. Like a couple episodes in, that she's not crazy. This crazy homeless lady that's just killing people. But in the UK version, she's sort of silent and unhinged. Not unhinged, but you don't trust her at any point throughout the whole series. So you're just sitting here like, I don't know if you're gonna kill everyone or just like go off.
It seems like there's a little more nuance, you know.
Yes,
like I mean,
exactly.
adaptation is an interesting thing because I was gonna say like there was a adaptation of Law and Order in the opposite direction, right? They
Yeah,
did Law and
the
Order
UK
in the
one.
UK.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't want to get into a rant about Chris Chibnall, okay, who's the current showrunner of Doctor Who, and that's a whole other thing. In case you guys have seen me rant about movies that I am not going to bring up, Doctor Who is a whole other level for me. He did a really good job on the adaptation, because like there was something about that translation that like made it British, but it still had a crispness.
I think with that, they took the feeling of the original show, but transferred it into the UK. They didn't try to fully make it different, but fully make it their own thing.
But
and they had to
off.
because, especially because like the British justice system is
it's different.
significantly different. than the US. So like,
but it still managed to, like, it's not a total like, oh, we're just gonna cut and paste. Like I could see there's like some skill in the way they were able to apply the characters and some of the details, and so no, it's a very good adaptation. But yeah, it's tricky. I think what happens is I think people just get kind of lazy, or I think maybe in the case of some of these American shows, I think they think their audiences are not sophisticated enough, and they just they probably do want to actually water it down. I don't know.
It's like a generic dystopian tale. That's the sad thing about it. And the UK one was so cinematically filmed, like it was shot so good. The saturation was so high that colors just popped off everywhere. Like you need to see the show.
I really found, and this is just not a comment on anything, but I found that when you're looking at, especially between like UK produced television and US produced, UK television is we're going to give you this show and you'll like it or you won't, but we don't care because we're going to give you the story. US television tends to be more, they want to appeal to the broadest demographic possible because they want to get the revenue in. And I mean, the UK, because it's BBC, it's usually BBC, it's already they have the revenue built in because it's on the station generally.
Yeah.
US, they're vying to get ad dollars, so they have to try to open it to the biggest audience possible. That's my kind of take on that anyways.
Yeah, I could see that.
I guess the one thing I got to say about this show is that it's probably the most poorly timed release of a TV series ever.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I do like
correct.
I do like that they have a disclaimer at the beginning saying this show's not about any real pandemic.
Wow.
And you just see the card right there and you're like, oh, especially there's like an episode that starts off with dead children, and you're just like, oh, I can see why they have that card there.
Yeah.
If you are gonna check out either the UK or the American one, the art in the show is amazing. It's about a comic book called Utopia, and whoever did the art for it, both shows, I think it looks exactly the same as the UK and the US version, and it's beautiful, like graphic.
Oh, that's good. That was the biggest highlight of it, and I was seeing like all those panels and that.
That's the highlight of this well-acted show. The comic books that you see for fleeting moments. I will tell you this, Hawk. Grant on the UK version is such a little badass compared to the one in the the UK one is a badass compared to the US one. And you're just like, okay, Grant, I guess you're sort of cool. Grant's like a little kid. Anyway. So let's move off of what's good, and maybe we'll get on to the stunts.
I'm not
this
putting
episode.
Yeah, I would not put any money down.
Matt Damon.
Our apologies.
Matt Damon, we completely run out of time. No, we're gonna make it. I guarantee we're gonna at least talk about it.
Guarantees.
Let's do it.
We will try and get there. So we're going into the news. So a couple of trailers have been released in the last couple of weeks since we have talked to you guys. Today, Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy trailer was released. The story follows a lonely bank teller who discovers he's actually a background character in an open-world video game entitled Free City, and he works to prevent the makers of the game from shutting it down with the help of a real-life avatar. The movie comes out December 11th in theaters. Maybe, probably. They actually released this promo video of them doing different dates in the future, like coming Cinco de Mayo 2022 and all this other stuff. It's really funny. What'd you guys think?
It's Ryan Reynolds. Of course, he's going to make fun of the fact that we have
coming out Halloween, but not the one you're thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. Thoughts on this trailer or movie?
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I don't know. It's when I first. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go.
When it first
So
came
Canadian.
out in trailers, I was it's so funny. We're talking about this Ryan Reynolds movie. We're like, no, you go first. It when the trailer first came out and the concept first came out, I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I could see it. You know, they're riding off of his Deadpool fame. You know, everyone likes his sort of wholesome, kind of goofy character, right? And this time he did, he gets to play it, nice and well dressed and everything. But I don't know. Like I like the idea of the movie and the trailer looks cute, but I almost feel like the concept might have missed its date, like the whole VR like MMO, like Fortnite, it's almost like 4 years behind, so I don't know what most general audiences are looking for. It's not for video game people, it's just for everybody who is aware of video games, right? But I don't know. I mean, I think it's honestly just going to be purely on the Ryan Reynolds arm, and right now I don't know if people are going to go out for that. So yeah. I think it looks cute.
It looked like a kind of a cute hybrid of the Ryan Reynolds being self-aware of the situation he's in, mixed with them making fun of generic video game tropes. Because doesn't have to be for gamers, but they'll have jokes in there that are for gamers because they'll get it. But they'll have enough stereotypical jokes in there that anyone that knows about a video game that exists in the world will be.
They're gonna have that one guy just running in the jumping, like
in one spot,
running into the wall.
You're gonna have some lag jokes.
If someone makes an error to the knee joke, I'll pop. I don't even care. That'll be the highlight of the movie for me.
There was one other thing I thought of when I first saw it, because it's been so long since I saw the first trailer. But they already kind of did this with Wreck-It Ralph as well. That's the problem, right? And that was kind of the perfect version of that story, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be original. I don't have a problem with that. But I think I don't know if this will live up to that standard.
For me, I think this seems to be like, I mean, I don't want to make any presumptions before it comes out or anything too much, but I'll see it. I want to see it. I'm not chomping at the bit for it. I would not be rushing out to a theater anytime soon to go see it. So I mean, if it becomes one of those like it's coming to streaming, or you can rent it for $3.99, $4.99, or whatever it is now, I might go for that. I mean, I personally still fall for the Ryan Reynolds charm. I do enjoy the guy. I like watching him in things. I am a little worried that one day he might go the way of like a Will Ferrell, where you've saturated too much and you're just like, just can't do it anymore.
This again.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Will Smith has done that for me. Will Smith has kind of become like the savior of the world too many times, and I'm like, I'm fucking done with it, man. Like, even when you're rebooting the Bad Boys, it still feels like he's trying. It's too much. So like I am worried that will happen in the Ryan Reynolds world. I'm hoping it doesn't, because one, I love to see a Canadian make his way through and become amazing and awesome and all that. But I do enjoy the man on like a personal level. I think he just seems like a really awesome guy.
It's weird. So I would
like
No. Finish your thought.
Go ahead.
No. Finish your thought. You.
You. But on the note of like what the movie's premise is, I do think there's going to be a lot of tropes. I do think there's going to be a lot of things that you expect to happen. But at the same time, I'm really looking forward to some of the stupid jokes. I'm looking forward to some of the stupid like video game humor that like most. I think the generic audience is going to get most of it. I really do hope that they hide a few things that like hardcore gamers are going to get involved in and be like, oh shit, that's really good.
Like in Ready Player One.
A few jabs or something. Yeah, like just some nice little hints would be really good. So I have hopes for it. Not the highest, but yeah.
Ready Player One. There was another one that kind of already nailed the video game thing too. So
yeah.
I wonder if they're like, what are the stakes in it for us as the audience, right? Because the main girl character can't die in a video game, and I guess Ryan Reynolds could get deleted, but there's
the
backup.
World,
yeah,
right?
no,
But the premise that the world's being shut down, right? So,
yeah.
Is that a big enough stakes for us as audience
as
members?
long as it's not like another Pixels,
Sorry.
Oh, nice.
That was well played.
wow.
Well timed.
That was painful, but then the visual joke made up for it. So
There you go. There
you'll
you
have
go.
to watch it if you're only listening to this.
Yeah,
I was going
sorry.
to say, it looks like a very harmless date movie, though. I think on that level,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Except that
actually.
nobody's going out for these.
Well,
things.
that's because
the only problem.
both people would be going there for Ryan Reynolds. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
But hey, that's a fair reason.
Yeah,
to go see
yeah.
it.
Hey, if everybody's comfortable with what they like,
And everyone should like Ryan Reynolds. I'm just saying.
everybody should.
Everybody
like
loves
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
I have this issue, and it was really apparent in Utopia in the first episode. In the first episode of the U.S. version of Utopia, they go to this comic book convention, and everyone there is a stereotypical nerd. You know that stereotypical you expect at a comic convention? Oh, they dress up and
Right.
they talk like this. Oh, I have
Yeah.
no social skills. That whole thing.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
do it for a solid, half an hour, right, Hawk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of people just
definitely.
coming in and out like that. I'm like, oh, come on. There are regular
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
That's bad writing.
at
Although
convention.
I have a feeling it was set up like that because basically what happens to them towards the end of the episode and that. which
Yeah, but
was-
not showing one. The only normal people are the conspiracy nuts. I mean, come on.
Uh-huh.
There's something to say that. Anyway, I hope they don't go that way in Free Guy. Like, that's not like the video gamer in the basement with the
Yeah.
lights behind them and all the toys and on their shelves and
Like you.
talking in their podcasting equipment. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I hate those generalized stereotypes for the masses that
Yeah.
movies or TV shows seem to do, and it just bothers me.
The faith that I have is that with Ryan Reynolds' name attached to it, even if the script did err on the side of stereotype, he's going to throw enough improv into it to make it funnier.
Sure.
Yes.
And because it's the kind of thing that he is into and he is recorded as being very into stuff like this, he'll put those jokes in because even if the studio execs don't get it, he knows that the people watching the movie will get it. So like you can kind of rely on him for stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate someone who.
He's
Sorry, go for it.
he's kind of given he's been kind of given the permission to be Deadpool in every movie now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
He should be the
he was-
Stanley of the next generation.
He was Deadpool in all his movies before he was Deadpool.
Yeah, he was
That's
Deadpool and
exactly
Green
it.
Lantern.
Van Wilder was Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, he's been Deadpool since the beginning. So yeah.
No,
That-
Hal Jordan was not Deadpool.
Nah, you know,
Just
you really
Friends
wanted to
was
be.
Deadpool.
Oh my god. Now I'm thinking
The proposal was Deadpool.
Yeah.
just without the swords.
I think there were swords, weren't there? No.
No, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next trailer. There's 3 of them here, sort of. This
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot we're doing that.
the first trailer for Robert Zemeckis' adaptation of the Roald Dahl classic The Witches has been released. Also a surprise. It's headed straight to HBO Max on October 22nd. This film was supposed to be released in theaters, but COVID times.
reality.
yeah.
What were our thoughts on this trailer? Were you guys fans of the original Angelica Houston film?
Can I?
Go, Marcus.
I'll go.
Yeah, go.
I loved the original. I loved Angelica Houston, and I thought that movie was a huge part of my childhood. Also, as I grew older and became involved in the world of production and special effects and everything, the puppeting and effects that they actually used for that time were incredible. The actual mouse animatronics and puppets that they used were phenomenal, and the makeup effects were fantastic. The setting was perfect. It had the British charm. It was great. This looks exactly like you described the Utopia thing. It's America screwing up something that was British.
Oh.
Not, but what I mean is like, there are, okay, when I saw this, I got really excited because I'm like, ooh, the witches, sweet. Then I was instantly upset. No, sorry. I was instantly happy. What's her name? The grandmother. Oh God, I can't remember her name. She was in
she's
Hidden
great.
Figures. I love her.
Yeah.
Oh God,
This would be where Eric
I can't
would
even-
look it up if he wasn't busy eating.
You mean
Yeah.
Octavia Spencer?
You and
Thank
your
you,
milkshake
Hawk.
and fries.
Yes. Octavia Spencer.
Thanks,
Thank you. As soon as I saw that she was the grandmother, I was like, oh my God, like that
Yeah.
actually hyped me for
Yep.
the beginning of it. Cause I was like,
Yeah,
first
yeah.
of all, I love the fact that, we have a black grandmother as the focal point of this. Great.
Mhm.
And it was kind of, it threw me. Chris Rock doing the voiceover kind of threw me off a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But I was like, I was there for it. And then Anne Hathaway showed up with her accent, and I was like, ooh, and those scar things. And I was like, ooh, okay, we'll see where this goes. Then I was back for it when Stanley Tucci showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some Stanley Tucci. I will watch Stanley Tucci do anything for an hour and a half. But if it's not just Stanley Tucci, I have to watch the rest of the movie, presumably. And as soon as I saw that CGI child shoot up in the air and turning into a mouse, I was fucking gone. I was done. And I was like, nope, this is not the movie I wanted. This is not the movie I've asked for. So I will probably watch it. I hope it proves me wrong, but I don't think it will.
I watched the trailer, and about a quarter of the way through, immediately in my head, I went, oh, they just did to the witches what Charlie and the Chocolate Factory did to Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair.
You had this phenomenal movie that had phenomenal practical effects, or at least effects they had for the time, and you have now hyper-saturated it with CGI to make it contemporary when it didn't need it.
That's a very good comparison, and we'll see if it plays out the same way, because I think there's definitely parallels there. I mean, there's always the argument of, okay, the original Willy Wonka, we're all going to be here and be all elitist and say, oh, well, that's the one everyone has to watch, right? But I mean, with the witches, I do think that movie has fallen off enough that there does need to be a reintroduction of it. So if they get the core elements of the story, because obviously younger kids now, they don't care about the special effects to the same degree, right? They'll be able to get past the stuff that makes us twitch, right? As long as it's not like derailing the story and it actually still tells the story well, it might be okay. I mean, we're all going to prefer the original for sure. I mean, I'm not arguing that, but
I mean,
but we'll see. I mean, that's a really great analogy, Matt. I mean, it could end up just being just as
like, and again, for me, it's there's one thing that they didn't show in the trailer. I'm glad they didn't show in the trailer, because it's kind of what killed the original Witches for me. Is I want to see what they look like. She looks like unmasked.
Right. Sure. Yeah. They hid that,
and they didn't show that at all. They was obviously, because it's mostly CGI. I'm assuming they're going to CGI it. I hope they don't.
I hope not.
It'd be nice to see someone do practical makeup.
Yeah.
They're likely going to CGI it, because why wouldn't they? They did it with everything else in the movie. But that's the one thing where, again, because that was what I loved about the original movie, was that they made the Angelica Houston makeup look like the drawing out of the Roald Dahl book. And that's very difficult to do. So if they can at least have her look like that, I can kind of excuse the wonky accent and whatever else is going to happen. It is, again, a movie that is being marketed for kids. It's not meant for us at all. It's meant for kids.
It's not for us.
You can, which is also very evident in that one scene where Stanley Tucci's there and she goes, "What would you do if you saw a bunch of mice?" And he's like, "Well, we'd exterminate them." She's like, "You see, we would exterminate the brats." You mean rats? And like that little play kind of thing. And like, that is not something you would have caught in the original movie, and it's not something I liked as far as like writing for the movie. It didn't give me hope for it, but it is something that kids would find humorous. It's something that kids would be like, "Hey, she just said that and he said that." Like, and that's I get like it. I 100% get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, you know what? It's not a bad move on their part, because really, if they get the movie geared towards kids and kids love it, great. The kids are gonna like it. But also, their parents who do remember the original are gonna go see it. And they're going to be like, "Oh, well, let's go see the witches." And then, of course, for example, if my son was old enough to go see it now, we'd at some point go see it, I guess. But then I'd be like, "Now I'm going to show you the other one."
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you know, I really, I guess they haven't really made too much of a misstep. I just don't like what I'm seeing.
And don't get me wrong, I wasn't a fan of the trailer either, but I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? This is clearly being marketed for kids.
Yeah.
They're going to water stuff down. They're not going to make it as intense, because we, for better or worse, we grew up in the generation where kids' movies were still allowed to terrify children.
Yeah, seatbelts were optional. I mean, my God. I mean, it's amazing we all survived.
But because there's been that swing away from that, where it's like you want to try to make it so that you're not traumatizing kids. Okay, do what you want to do. But again, it's the parents that know will then be like, if you like that, I can show you the original version, and then they can be like, okay, now we're gonna watch the original, but it's really scary, and the kids will be like, no, it's not, and then they'll be traumatized, and then they'll grow up to be functional adults. Like,
Yeah. I think two things. If one, they really wanted to capture the parents' imagination, they would have got the Henson Company to come back and work on this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's what made the original so good.
That's what I'm wondering. I haven't really been following Zemeckis's recent films. I mean, he's always been a movie magic sort of person, but I guess it comes down to, is he really now focused on the CG and that type of thing?
He's been doing CG stuff for such a long time now.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time he had a live action movie.
Yeah, he's really been focused on the tech, right, side of it.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It's a very troubling thing that I've noticed, especially me being someone who works in the industry of practical effects. It's very sad to see visual effects taking over so hard. I've always been a big fan of when Stan Winston first got kind of confronted with computer generated graphics, he said, this isn't something to fear, this is something to work with. And that was our first glimpse of the first original Terminator movie, was CG mixed with practical effects, and it fucking worked gangbusters. And every time that combination has worked properly, it has always been great. But anytime a company has gone too heavy on CGI, it's always been bad. At the same parallel, anyone who's gone too practical without the proper practicality behind it,
the planning,
kind of like it's always kind of been bad too. So I mean, you have to have both. But
Jurassic Park is a perfect melding of the two again. There's not very many.
But I'm very sad to see that this is the ongoing trend, and it's because it's cheap. It's much cheaper. It's faster, and they can get things out faster and make their money faster, move on to the next project faster. I get it, but
now they're
sucks. And I'm still really mad about Age of Resistance. I am so
I was wondering if that was going to come up. No, I'm upset too.
We need to do an episode where I can just yell.
Did we not talk about that in the last one, or has it been? Oh no! I will add it to the next one. I think one more thing for this topic is the one thing that really scared me as a child with the witches was the painting and the kids being trapped in it. So if they can get the same feeling, I will be happy with this one. At least.
That's a conceptual thing. So they can. They can
but if they did it so beautifully and simply in the original one, if they can capture that feel, props to them, and not have little CG people walking around in a painting. Goddamn.
Oh yeah.
Okay, one more trailer and we'll talk about the Dark Crystal getting canceled. Anyway, so we got our first teaser, air quotes, for the Monster Hunter Monster Hunter film adaptation starring Mila Jovovich and Tony Jaa.
It's so good to have so many people freak out on the show now.
Something.
There's more of us. More anger. That's what we needed.
We are united. We are banded together.
What did you think about this movie that has the title Monster Hunter?
It's not Monster Hunter.
Look, I mean,
Resident Evil Hunter monster.
The problem is because we've been around so long and we were all into video games, for a long time. And we did the episode on the bad video game to movie translation. Like, we've seen the litany of movies that have nothing to do with the properties that they're based on, right? So it's kind of funny to still see that now in 2020, when video game movies have actually become legitimate, and comic book movies as well, during this period. So all I can do is kind of laugh at it, right? Because I mean, it's Mila Jovovich and her husband going to do another series, hopefully, of movies. At least that's what they want, right? And
they'll make gangbusters, man. People love
Resident Evil didn't have much to do with Resident Evil after the first one, right? And
no, it didn't. And after the first half hour.
Yeah. No, exactly. But the thing is, it owned it after that. It just kind of said, we're going to make the references, but we're not even going to pretend, right? We're going to take it in its own direction. And they went for it. Monster Hunter is one of those things where it's like, when I heard they announced that they were going to do that movie and I didn't know who was involved, I was like, I don't know. Unless that's a Japanese company. Even then, I don't know what they're going to do, right? How do you do that as a movie, right? So frankly, I don't know. Like this is going to be stupid.
What's
but-
funny is that the first time they released images is of them in the desert, and you're sitting there like, "Where's the lush vistas and the monsters?"
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
what you
That's
expect
true.
for a Monster Hunter movie, and you're just like, "Okay, desert and machine guns."
Should be trudging through like a lagoon and some trees overhanging. You walk through a bush, you see a nest of eggs. Like there should be lots of shit going on. You know what would have made a good like monster movie concept? The same kind of thing that was done with Troll Hunter with Monster Hunter would be fucking phenomenal because it'd be like imagine just some sort of candid version of it where it's just like, oh, I hunt monsters. Yeah, sure you do. And it's like, holy fuck, there's a whole nother world and like something like that would be really cool.
Honestly, I think this is just because Mila Jovovich and her husband are bored, and they needed to find a cheap franchise. Like they paid for this with very, very little money because nobody thought they could do anything with it. Like, yeah, sure, we'll buy that since we're no longer involved with Resident Evil anymore.
And
right?
apparently
there
they
you
like
go.
video games, so maybe they're just going through their backlog and they're like, "Oh, we should do this one."
Yeah, did you know the rights for this was up for like $20?
Oh, sweet. We have money.
Yeah,
Here's
let's
the
make
20
that
right
movie.
here.
Yeah.
$20, put a couple thousand into production. We're good. We're gold.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich. There you go.
We'll just use the desert in our backyard.
Hey, it worked for like 3 of the Resident Evil movies.
It's
So.
true.
Right?
It looks like
Right?
one of the
Same desert.
yeah. What was it?
It really looks
6
like-
or something that was in Las Vegas. I can't even remember.
Yeah, third one was in Las Vegas.
Was it
10 to
third?
1, they just took footage from one of the Resident Evil movies, pulled the zombies out and put monsters in, and just kept the same
That would be
footage.
amazing. All the monsters are coming out of this like crate that got lowered down. Amazing.
See, the problem I have too though is like the teaser comes out and you see this monster burst out of the ground, and it looks very reminiscent of something you'd see in Monster Hunter,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But then it's being shot at from a Jeep with a fucking minigun, and I'm like, what? No. Where's the giant bone sword? Fuck you. No.
Where's
Tony
my
Yaw has it.
anthropomorphic cast?
Tony
Yaw's
Yaw's.
holding on to that shit.
He is. He is.
poor
The
Tony
one.
Yaw.
The one picture they have of him is him and Bones.
I know, but it just
We'll talk
I don't
about
know.
Tony Yaw later.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully,
He'll
maybe.
coming back.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see.
We're not
That
quite
poor
through
guy.
the news yet.
So, speaking of news that Marcus just sort of mentioned a little bit earlier, hot off their win for Best Children's Programming, Netflix has decided to cancel The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Wasn't it literally the day?
It was the day
they
after
won?
the one.
It
that
was
I
the
made.
day after.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
idiots.
literally, when Disney Plus first came on the scene, I contemplated for a little bit dropping my Netflix account. What made me say, oh, fuck no, I can't do that is because I had just watched Age of Resistance and I thought, I can't wait until the next season. And then they pull this fucking crap. And I'm pretty sure I just screamed blindly in my living room because to me that was such an amazing series and it left me on such a cliffhanger and I wanted to know more and I was so excited to see the war, to see everything, and they just left it to nothing.
Yeah.
Now, Jim Henson Studios has said they're going to try to still make this as a project, right?
Or they're trying to continue the story. They don't know if it's going to be in what
Yeah.
medium, but maybe a film. You never know.
Honestly, Indiegogo or GoFundMe, that kind of shit, and I will happily donate to that project.
Hell yeah.
Because that needs to be done. Also, half of the puppets are already fucking made. It's the cost of the second season would not be the same as the first season. And
Well,
it just,
they did have a lot of issue because they did have that fire where they did lose a lot of the puppets. So I
I
don't know if you
will
read that at all.
happily drop some cash to.
It's
That's
one of those for me just added to the frustrations. You know, when everything was shut down because they had to shut down production. There was a fire in the studio, and the director went there personally.
I remember.
Puppets,
I remember reading about that.
and they still cancel. It's like the guy ran into a fire to save the puppets that were made for this thing.
Yeah.
Just finish the damn season.
When we did our episode on this, I did feel like I did say if they never make any more, I would still be happy.
Yes.
Obviously, I wanted more,
Yeah.
but they did such a phenomenal job of filling out the world. I mean, because my main issue was, and I said this in the other episode, The Dark Crystal was always a movie that had a big impact on me because of things that, I mean, Marcus can relate to this too, right? The art direction, the things that they were able to do. Except, being honest, I always had to go back and rewatch it to go, did I really like that movie? And the movie itself has got a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
But the world itself and the art books like had a massive impact on my imagination and storytelling in general, actually.
Yeah.
And the TV series is one of those prime examples when I get into arguments about, again, movies I don't talk about. It is actually possible to do prequels and world building without, having a spaz, right?
Yeah.
So it really it's a shame. It's a shame because they really got it. They really understood it. And I we'll see. Hopefully somebody else
I'm
someone
sure
else picks up the ball.
Henson will continue it somehow, whether it's animated or comic or whatever. They will, but I mean, because now they have point A and they have point C. It's just a lot of story, and it's however much story they want to put in B to fill out.
Yeah, and the cast wants to do it so badly.
Yeah, everyone wants to.
It was an amazing cast, such an amazing cast. But like, you know what? Like, sorry, go ahead, Huck.
Sorry, it's one of the most confusing decisions I think Netflix has ever made in canceling a show, because like
weird ones.
The first season was a hit. No, like critically and viewership, people were there. They nailed it. And like going into like a production like in the current climate and that with like the pandemic and that, like it should have been a no-brainer, because it could have been such a tightly controlled production with animating and the voice acting and that, like, so it should have been this should have been like an easy thing for them to pull off and that. And I think they dump a lot of money into stuff that people really don't ever really watch and that, so move a few decimal points over this way.
As soon as the pandemic
I just
hit,
don't get it.
Yeah, they started just canceling things that they're like, this is going to take a long time. They're not going to come back in the next year when we wanted it, because the production is going to take longer. Today they canceled Glow, which is one of their highest rated shows on Netflix.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, and they had already they renewed it right for another 2 seasons, I think. They just outright canceled it because they're like, we can't do a wrestling show safely and for the money. And then
really, because they're doing it live right now pretty safely. So
I don't know.
Okay, but those guys, not to get political, are maybe not as concerned about their performers.
One company doesn't, one company does, and that's why one company.
Okay, fair enough.
One hasn't.
Yeah, they also
actually.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Netflix also canceled the second season of The Society, which is another highly rated show. That was a show that me and Hawk liked. Show. Yeah, I like that show too.
Yeah.
And I am not okay with this.
Unfortunately, we are really going to be seeing now the after effects of the quarantining and the pandemic happening, where there's going to be a lot of things that are going to either be indefinitely postponed or canceled because they just they can't wait that long on it either, and that's part of the problem is they can't wait.
Yeah, it's an equation. There's math here that is hard to deny.
I feel like they just keep looking at dollars and cents the entire time and just sit there and go like, what's the biggest bang for our buck? How are we going to increase our money? Because even though most people hate half of the original content that they just splatter at you, and you're waiting for that 1 or 2 good show or good movie that they do put out. Unfortunately, that splatter does get watched, and so they are getting revenue. They do pique interest from people, and sometimes new viewership just from that crap. Yep. But it's unfortunate, but I think it works for them.
Yeah.
But what I've always wondered is just like how they determine what's popular, what's not. I know there's been shows that I've loved after the fact, like after them being on for a while. And I never got to them. There's so many things to watch on Netflix that I feel like there's a lot of people that can't get to that newest thing right away. Yeah. Like I have a backlog of Netflix watching that I should really get to. Instead, I constantly rewatch shows that I've already seen.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that those other shows I haven't watched aren't good. It's just I haven't got to them. I don't know if the same thing happens around the world with other people, and they look at that and say, "Oh, no one's watching this right now," and they say it's bad. Like I would love to be a fly on the wall and just hear their conversations about where to proceed and how to move forward with their company.
Yeah. The one thing I do know, and it's just a little thing, is that I mean they look at I know they look at views, like actual episode views. They also look at saves. Whereas if a show is saved to your bar, it hasn't been watched. The fact that people are like, oh, they're saving all these things, it means that it gives them a bit of a pass because like they're still interested in it. They just haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but they haven't deleted it. It's still saved.
All right, so everybody needs to save all the cool shit
Right.
on their Netflix stuff. Like,
Yeah.
let's just get that out to the world so that everybody fucking saves the good shows. But apparently, it's not. It's too late for them.
There was actually a report or a study done in the past couple months since the pandemic, saying that during times of struggle like we are right now, people tend to pick things that they're familiar with. It's their comfort food. So people will continue watching The Office or Friends or those types of shows. So they can't really take those numbers because people are just trying to feel better about living life in this hellscape right now.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's a tricky calculation. I'm not too surprised about the cancellation, of Dark Crystal though, because that is probably one of the most expensive projects. Other than a show that had a very expensive actor in it, right?
And
it's a reality. I mean, all this golden age that we actually hit with streaming, unfortunately, may be over. We'll see what happens.
Especially with Dark Crystal, part of the problem was they had started production on it when they had to shut down for COVID, which means that they had to pay everyone that was on production for the entire time it was shut down. So they can have a big budget for it, but when that entire budget is going towards like performers and craft artisans that are sitting at home because they can't go in and work for 6 months, because they shoot in the UK if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
So they shut down, reopened, and shut down again.
Yeah, and they had to pay for all the rental space for the puppets
for
and
all
everything.
the equipment and everything. So it could just be a simple.
It just hemorrhaged money and
just had phenomenal numbers, but if they lose $1 million, a couple $1 million on that, they can't support it because they don't have the money.
Yeah, it's how much they allocated already, and it's a damage control situation.
Netflix actually paid the cast and crew of Glow their full amount for season 4. Even though they didn't even start, right? That's
at least there's that.
Good on them, I guess, for that.
Well, but I mean, it's good they did because they kind of had to, because that means that they're like, we're renewing for 2 more seasons. They have to say, cool, we can't sign to anything else for the next 2 years because we have this. Oh, it's canceled. Cool. Here's the paycheck because you didn't take any other projects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's at least them not being shitty about it, which is nice.
All right, let's get off of this sad Netflix news and talk about something new and fun, because it's coming next month. PS5 and Xbox Series One, their first impressions on the consoles have actually just started hitting the wild right now, and they're both very positive. So that's a good thing. Reports indicate that the PS5 is near silent, even after heavy gameplay. Hours of heavy gameplay.
That's awesome.
That'll be nice.
I don't need my PS5 to sound like a jet engine like my PS4 for turning it on. The DualSense controller is also said to be quieter than the DualShock 4, which I never had an issue with. I didn't think the DualShock 4 was loud. So
it depends on what kind of surface you're putting it down on.
Yeah, if you put it on
I meant like when you're
table,
playing,
it's
when
like
they're
a
pressing
phone.
buttons and stuff.
Yeah,
They said
that's
it's
weird. That's a weird point to emphasize.
And the vibration,
What
I guess. I don't know.
What about the light? Like they said that the light is less distracting now or something like that?
It's less distracting. There are multiple colors, and there are LEDs to show what player number you are. So 1, 2, 3,
Cool.
4. So
maybe the vibration noise is so that you don't wake up spouses. That's like, so now it's even more subtle.
Well,
You
it's
can
not-
just play it, like in the corner.
Well, it's not supposed to be like a random just shake like the PS4, right? It's supposed to be censored per different section and different
so
buttons.
that
That makes sense.
make it quieter because you don't have to have the things just.
Yeah.
They also
Get to
meant
work tomorrow.
It's not a cell phone from the early 2000s.
they also mentioned that there are latches on the top of the of the PS5, but they don't know what it is because they weren't allowed to lift it up and open. It's probably expansion slots for hard drives or other things that you can expand. I don't know. We'll find out when we get it next month. The Xbox Series X is also said to be extremely quiet and fast, with a quick resume feature that allows players to switch from one game to another in just 6 to 8 seconds. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They have the size comparisons and the actual size comparisons now, and the PS5 is a hefty beast. It's
freaking huge.
It's bigger than the PS4 and the PS3 Fat, which
was big. That was big.
That was a big beast.
And they're showing the PS5 without the stand, the vertical stand. So you have to add a couple of inches the vertical stand to keep it steady.
I literally don't know where I'm gonna put this thing.
I don't either.
Like,
I don't
I
guess
know.
on top of my speaker, that seems dangerous.
I feel like it's gonna have to be behind my TV.
But I
Like,
need my
I'm gonna have to
disc
put it-
slot.
It's gonna have to be near the edge or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You made your choice.
I did, and I'm not upset about it.
You're not mad about it.
All right. Sorry, Hawk, you're saying?
Oh, I said you'll make the room.
I will. I'm just gonna be like, get out of here, Star Wars Lego, get out of here, Steven Universe
Ask for me.
stuff. Anyway, the next news made me upset. Beloved veteran actor Rick Moranis is said to be fine after he received a closed fist punch to the face by a random passerby on New York's Upper West Side, leaving the actor knocked to the ground. Police say the assailant remains at large. A rep for the 67-year-old comedy star said in a statement that the actor is fine, but grateful for everyone's thoughts and well wishes. Who does that?
Okay, here's
to
the
Rick
thing.
Moranis.
But here's
Or to
the
random
thing.
people in general.
Everyone's assuming that this was he punched him because he was Rick Moranis.
No.
A dude in New
Yeah.
York that punched someone. That
Yeah.
shit happens. I'm willing to bet probably every day.
Yeah.
It's just that it happened to be Rick Moranis, so it's upsetting to us.
It's funny because the first time they announced it, they didn't have the actor's name attached to it. It was just this guy randomly punched, and they showed the video of it, and people were still like, "Who the fuck does this?" At least on Reddit. And then they
Well, no, it is. It is a matter of just who the fuck does this, and then like, oh, that was Rick Moranis, and everyone's like, what the fuck? 'Cause
Yeah.
then it exploded. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I remember
He's a
seeing the
goddamn
video first. I'm
national
like,
treasure.
oh, that's upset. Because I think it was in the overreacting subreddit where people just randomly overreact, and it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, what a dick.
Fuck that guy.
That was
guy.
a weird random.
If he happens to be
story.
listening to this, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Stop listening.
Yeah, damn straight. Daniel Craig's fifth and final James Bond outing, No Time to Die, has been pushed yet again to April 2nd, 2021, a full year
Yeah.
after its original intended release.
I
In related
thought that
news,
was gonna happen.
Yeah.
the Regal Cinema chain in the U.S. has announced that it will close all U.S. theaters following news of the Bond film delay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
Bond
yeah, I
kills not just people,
Yeah.
but theater
There's
chains.
time to die
Theaters.
for theater chains.
Apparently. Yeah, they should
Yeah,
have.
AMC's in trouble too, actually. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens there.
I
Hold
hope.
them, Markus.
Yeah, just release it streaming. I don't care.
This is one of those things, like with all these delays for everything, like, you know, Wonder Woman got delayed and that, Bond got delayed, now Dune's delayed and that.
We're talking about Dune later.
Yeah, movie theater, like cinemas really have to get together and like kind of come up with a new strategy, at least in the temporary, just to get these products out.
And
Or
really,
else, like,
was your experience changed when you watched Bill and Ted at home instead of at the theater?
No, I loved it. I was nice and comfy. I was in my chair. I had the massager on. Like,
See,
it was
this is-
great.
I had a
This is
blanket.
exactly
Wonderful.
This is exactly what movie theaters don't want to hear. I mean, they've been fighting the whole concept of watching at home versus like you can have water sprayed at you and the chair will rotate and we'll give you popcorn.
I turned the fan on ever so often just so it felt like I was going in time.
But you know what? I just want to talk about, like, in the world of movie theaters, it's time, like, if movie theaters do want to stick around, and it's time for them to adapt and change. One of the things is, motherfuckers, drop your prices on your damn snacks and your drinks and shit. Enough of this bullshit. And if you're not going to do that, welcome people to bring in their own food. Not just say, I guess it's fine, move along. Fuck off. Just say, you know what? Bring a pizza in. Bring in some
Hell
soda.
yeah.
Bring in whatever the hell you want.
No, that's
Because
a good idea.
at this point, you are already losing money hands over fist. You are losing your industry as it is. If you want to keep relevant in any way, you're going to have to start appeasing us a lot more than you used to, whether you like it or not. Otherwise, guess what? We are going to sit at home in our fucking sweats, eating bonbon chocolates while watching Bill and Ted, because it was fucking awesome.
That sounds wonderful.
Things have evolved so much because now we have these televisions that are just so massive, right? And everything looks good and clean and sharp, right? And that you're exactly right, Marcus. They went with the opposite strategy of like trying to sustain themselves by adding more options to charge more, so that everything ends up being $30 to $50 like after everything's said and done, and it's not worth it.
No,
when you can
I did
pay
VIP.
$8 for Netflix. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I did VIP once at one of the Toronto theaters, and it was great. It was awesome. It was not worth it.
No.
It was nowhere near worth it. So I could have a fucking drink,
Yeah.
and that drink was still absorbently priced.
Yep.
Which now you can just do at any movie theater in Canada at this point in time. Yeah, you just go to a Cineplex, Silver City, whatever, and just be like, yeah, I'll just buy your $10 beer here.
It's a $10 beer.
It's also a $10 Coors Light, so I don't want it that badly.
Here's your $10
just
Coors Banquet.
Oh,
It's just
whatever.
it's a really interesting idea. I mean, because like cinemas have outlasted most mediums in which movie and television have been distributed over the years, and that we've seen VHS and Betamax go, and DVDs have gone the way of this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Even Blu-rays, they're at this point where it's like, should I even really put down that kind of money in that?
Because it's going to be on the streaming service eventually, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I
mean,
Mulan.
But in the wake of everything that's happened in that, now cinemas are up on this big debate block and that about whether they get chopped or whether they struggle to stay alive.
I think you guys said that the point is really easy. Is they need to make it they need to give people a reason to want to spend time there.
Yes.
Because the problem is, it's like you're going out. I mean, just even if you're just one person going out by yourself, between ticket price and any snacks you want, you are paying probably around $35-$40 when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy the movie when it comes out for
Yes.
less than that a lot of times, and watch as many times as you want without having an asshole behind you having a conversation on his phone or with his buddies. You don't have to move if people want to pee. You don't have to move your legs if people have to get up and pee in the middle of it. If you have to pee, you can go pause, go do that, come back.
For sure.
They're making you pay an exorbitant price for the privilege of sitting in a theater and watching a movie, when we're at the point right now where that's not a privilege. It's just well, I can wait 4 more months and just watch it when it comes out on anything.
Like Steve said, TVs are getting better now. Surround sound systems, they're getting better. The draw to a theater used to be a giant screen and these beautiful speakers, the sound. But now that's not as big a draw anymore, because we've seen it, been there, done that. Sorry. Even IMAX is kind of like, whatever. All right. I didn't notice that much of a difference. It's just not worth it anymore. And now people are getting really creative. They have their movie nights outside in their backyards with their neighbors, and they shoot out up against they use their own projectors. You can get a really fucking nice projector for like a couple $100. And if you want to spend that extra money for $1,000, you can have like literally a movie quality projector, and you could be watching shit outside in your basement on a blank wall, wherever the fuck you want, and you can have the same feel, the same experience. So, and I mean, I love movie theaters. I used to love going. It was an event. It was a thing. You go out with your friends and stuff. But at this point, if you can't adapt to the changes around us and start making it a little bit more enjoyable, like why did it take so long to have fucking numbered seats and have people go to your ticketed seat? Because I can't tell you how many times I fucking bought a ticket, went in, and was like, oh shit, now there's nowhere for me to sit. I gotta sit in the front, or I gotta sit in this corner. I gotta sit beside this big fucking smelly guy. Oh hey Matt, how you good, man? I didn't know you were coming to this movie. Great. Like I love you, buddy.
Son of a bitch.
But you know what I mean? Like it was one of those things. Like there were so many anxiety-driven moments when you went into a movie theater, and instead of trying to get rid of that stuff, they just kind of piled it on. Like now there are a few theaters that had kind of changed things up and did things for the better. There's the Jackson Square Theater suddenly changed things in Hamilton, where they said, screw it, we're going to give you a lot more room. Now you have reclining leather couches.
That was Landmark that did that. That was
Landmark, yes, and like those seats were incredible. Even if you didn't know the person right beside you, it didn't matter. You had enough space. You could both share an armrest. One of the worst experiences I had in a movie was I went to go see Godzilla, the most recent, not the most recent, the
2014 one.
2014,
Kick-Ass guy.
And some fucking dude. I okay. Sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a rant here.
That's cool.
I went in. I was like 20 minutes early to this damn movie. Me and my girlfriend are sitting there. She went and get snacks. I'm sitting there holding our seats. She comes back. We've been sitting there. We're playing the stupid quiz game. We're waiting. The theater is getting kind of full, but there's still a decent amount of seats left. And some douchebag and his girlfriend come in, and they come into our row. Now, none of this is wrong. None of this is a problem. And then he sits down right beside me. A little bit weird, but again, not a problem. But there were other seats, so why not give that buffer zone? But he didn't. But instead, the motherfucker, who I have been here for 20 minutes, my arm is already on this armrest. I have been here. And he sits down and puts his arm on top of mine.
What?
And then
surprise ending.
And then no, it's not done. Then proceeds to push on my arm and try to force my arm off this armrest. Now, I'm no fucking slouch, and most of the time, if someone said, "Excuse me, can I have that armrest?" I'd probably say, "Sure," and I would just be done with it. But this fucker tried to push my arm off, and I was having none of it, so I kept my arm there. And for 2 hours in this movie, this guy who I've never met had this silent fucking battle in the dark against each other that neither of our girlfriends were privy to. And I just kept pushing his arm. He kept pushing my arm. And me and him fucking hated each other. We made enemies for life in this movie.
This is amazing.
I'm going to clip this.
And you know what came from it? Absolutely fucking nothing. So what was the point? Why?
Because none of you pulled the alpha move. You should have stood up there, pulled your dick out, and hit him in the face with it.
Was your
alpha move every time?
Was your battle more epic than the movie?
Way more better. Way more epic than the movie. The movie was like a nice little side note in the background compared to this little shit. Like, I'm not even joking. I felt him tensing and pushing all throughout that entire movie. And then every once in a while, I'd throw a curveball and I'd fucking like lift my fist up and kind of push his arm off. And then he'd just drop it right back on. And then he'd dig in with his fucking elbow into my arm. Oh man,
that's
incredible.
incredible.
But the best part, at the end of the movie, so all said and done, the movie's over, and then lights are coming on. Now you have to look, right? And this son of a bitch quickly just lifts his arms, grabs his girlfriend. All right, we got to go, and just starts walking down the thing. And I just turned. I'm staring at this guy the entire time, and he would not fucking look back until he got all the way down the aisle. And right where you turn the corner to get out of the movie theater, he looks up for a split second, and I'm giving him. Okay, people who are listening, you're not going to get the full effect, but people who are watching on Twitter, you're going to love Twitch. You're going to fucking love this. I was just like,
nice,
staring the fucker down.
I want this image
as your background on your computer.
Make this your fucking screensaver, man.
This is an emoticon I'm going to be using.
Oh my god. We should make that into an emoticon.
I was so pissed off, and that's how I remember the first Godzilla viewing experience.
So the answer,
I bet you don't even
remember the movie.
I bet you don't even remember anything about the movie and that, because like the entire time, that's probably the only thing you were ever concentrating on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, one day I should tell you guys my first Transformers movie experience, because that's a whole.
Wait, which thing. Transformers? Animated?
The first one. The first Michael Bay
one.
It has nothing to do with actually the movie or how terrible the movie was. It has everything to do with how much I was tripping balls.
Yeah, nice. We should have a tripping balls episode, and I'll tell you about how I saw The Matrix.
Yes. Oh, Eric, we'll have a good fucking time with this. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good.
Write that one
down.
Ooh,
we'll do that in April on the 20th.
I might know some guests that we can bring on for that.
Yeah, I know a couple people. Maybe we'll see. What were we talking about? Movies?
We were talking about the death of movie theaters.
Oh,
I mean that kind of sums it up. But yes.
To be fair,
the thing is that ruined a perfectly fine movie for me, that experience, and it's all because make 2 fucking armrests.
Yeah. Yes.
Make 2 fucking armrests.
Yeah.
What is so hard, movie theaters? 2 armrests. Fuck off.
And staggered seating. I don't want a chair in front of me because I don't want to see someone's head the whole fucking time. Put them in the middle. Just moving them over. I think really the only reason why I want to go to the movies now is to see an event film like Endgame or something like that, but mostly to see it with friends, right? Because that shared experience is that what I like about movies. But we can't do that now, anyways.
No.
Yeah.
Just let me watch it at home.
For me,
and we may not be able to do this. Sorry, we may not be able to do this realistically for the next year and a half, 2 years.
Did you see what Disney Plus did just silently the past couple of weeks? They started watch parties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you can watch with your friends, and that's awesome because that's what you want. You want the community while you watch it, if you want to.
Going to the movie theaters is big event films, everyone knows what those are. They're the movies that deserve to be in a room full of people. with just the scope of whatever you're seeing in front of
The
you.
movies where you, me, and Marcus hold hands and cry.
Yes, those are the movies.
It's those gross out comedies and horror films are the only 3 movies that I will ever go see in movie theaters.
I will say when I went to go see Get Out in theaters, it was one of the greatest experiences for me.
Because
I loved it.
You have to have those. It's the any movie that will get a visceral reaction out of an audience. That's when it's worth it to go see a movie in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I will.
I'm gonna go see this quiet romantic comedy. No, watch it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I will add though that I think only teenagers who really don't understand the value of a dollar, and people who care as much as we do about movies, would follow that purpose. You know, is Matt frozen because his face is just staring at me?
He is frozen. No, there he is. There he is.
Oh my god!
But I will also clip that too.
Yeah, I was just like, is there something that I said that because your face, Matt, was just like this the whole time I was talking with teenagers. That was hilarious.
I spoke, and then all of a sudden, all 4 of you stopped moving. I was like, oh no, I froze. Oh no.
You had the best expression.
Eric, what we should do is everybody make the frozen Matt Moore face, and we clip that. Everybody.
I guess we're never going back to no videos.
No, never.
Oh Lord. Thank you to our probably 1, maybe 2 viewers right now watching this for going up with our shenanigans.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, so I was gonna say
teenagers.
I think
and us.
those are the only 2 groups of people who are probably still gonna be willing, like the people who want movies as an event and will only go for the events.
Yeah.
And teenagers who have nothing better to do.
Well, teenagers want a place to screw around, right?
They can get an awkward handy in a park just as easily. I don't see what the issue.
Yeah,
But I mean,
go
it's a
to
lot of,
Taco Bell parking lot like everyone else.
Get a Baja Blast and then a Baja Blast.
I had a Baja Blast after you told me, and it's
And
wonderful.
it's not where I'm going with this, guys.
Sorry,
Okay,
that was a Baja Blast.
Remember
what
when
I'm
this
saying is-
podcast was about parenting?
No.
No, I don't either.
Nope, I don't remember. No, but a lot of the really stupid, really successful horror movies, for instance. I mean, that's teenager fare, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
Mhm.
So other than that, I think everybody else has been ruined by this pandemic because everyone has now gotten used to. They were already starting to anyway, right? Because of Netflix, but now they've absolutely become used to watching at home. So the industry's screwed. I mean, that's just a fact, right? And they have to evolve. They have to evolve. So we'll see what ends up happening. I hope there's a rise in drive-in.
Yes.
That would be something. I like that to return because I know they have survived. I know that's been actually going on,
100%.
right? And
The
I think
one
that
here
would
in
be
Hamilton
great.
has actually been doing really well.
Gangbusters.
Same with the one in
Yeah,
Guelph.
they've been doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one in Oakville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one in Oakville. There's one in St. Catharines, or on the way to Font Hill in St. Catharines Way.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
I
bunch
think
of them.
it wouldn't be that difficult for a lot of the big theaters to implement this because they already have the parking.
Yeah.
So that's taken-
Sure. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the screen outside the building, and you're golden.
Yeah, right.
they you know
Yeah,
you get,
that would have been
you
a
bring
temporary, but a
some
good-
sort of speaker system that you can hook to the car window and
No, just
you're
FM
Well, they just
receivers,
use
man.
radio.
Just a phone
They just-
app.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
it.
did it through the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Phone app. You put in a code for the movie that you paid for, and there you go. And it's
not even that, you
Bluetooth in your phone.
Just, for me, it's literally just you go there. You don't like the ticket with the drive-in. You can't stop people from seeing it when it's on screen that big. You just have a pay app for the soundtrack. So it's literally you have to pay your ticket price gets you the sound. Otherwise, you can sit there and watch the movie quietly all you want. People used to do it all the time.
That'd be actually kind of
for the
cool.
sound.
You could be across the street, pay on your phone, and just sit there and watch from out your window. Be like, yeah, I'm watching a movie.
We used to when I was a
Yeah.
Still
teenager.
paid, that's the thing.
When I was a
You
teenager,
still
we
pay.
used to drive really close and then try and scan for the
Yeah,
FM.
you get-
I loved it. It was so much fun.
I just memorized all the radio.
They
stations,
would
so
they
I
would
just, like-
rotate them, so
Yeah.
we would be like,
Oh,
Did they
sneaky.
really?
yeah, they were good.
Because
Oh,
that's
okay.
a thing that's been going on for decades with drive-ins, where people would always try to find ways to steal because the picture is always the picture. You
But they
not-
can't stop the scan button on the radio. This is a good this would be a good episode, like talking about the future of cinema and the future of TV. Like we have some really strong ideas, and I think it's really maybe something we tackle again in the future.
Tag that. We'll talk about it later.
Because Lord knows we're not getting to the stunts today.
We're sorry, Matt. We're sorry, Matt Damon. We completely ran out of time.
The South Park pandemic episode was a hit for Comedy Central. It aired last Wednesday, drawing 2.3 million total viewers. The episode centered around Randy coming to terms with his role in the COVID-19 outbreak, as the ongoing pandemic presented plenty of challenges to the citizens of South Park. Did anyone watch this episode?
I haven't watched it yet.
I always forget. I say this like I've said this on this show multiple times. I'm always like, oh yeah, I love South Park, and then like 3 years later, I'm like, oh yeah, that's still on. So I end up getting 3 seasons of the show at once. I gotta watch this episode. No,
this episode is so good, and it doesn't just tackle the pandemic, but also Black Lives Matter and other things that are happening in our lives right now. And I don't want to ruin any.
They're
more
always
than
very
that.
on the nose.
They're very.
They are. They're. I feel like the creators of South Park or the writers of South Park, whoever is kind of in charge right now, like they are so good. Is it still
Matt and Trey? Yeah,
it's still Trey, but they still write and produce all this stuff.
Yeah.
They have the most insane innate talent to just hold up that mirror perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, to society.
Cut right to
like
the core.
I don't know what it is. Like they've been able to do it since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like better than any other show or cartoon that I can think of.
Yeah.
Like they have been able to nail what is actually on everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like the right thing to tackle as far as like, this is an issue, let's talk about it. And then the world agrees it's an issue like a week later. Like they're always the first to kind of point it out, and I love them for it. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're
that
able
being
to...
said, I have not watched the last couple seasons of South Park, so I really need to play catch up at one point. But I've always loved South Park.
I will say
sorry. This
This
they are such an
go for it.
anomaly at this point. Sorry, I'm sorry. They're
No,
such
go.
an anomaly at this point. Because like they still take a lot of chances that a lot of like comedy.
Oh, good. I can play off of this.
Would not take at this point in that. And comedy, you got to hand it to Comedy Central on that. They've just they've always said they've always backed them. They've never tried to. I don't think they've ever
sort
really
of.
tried
There's
to
been a couple times they were a little bit scared of some
I
stuff.
think
but
probably
for the most part,
the Muhammad episode was probably the
when they moved very close to the line.
Oh yeah,
that they just stepped over. This episode is the first time in a while where I saw something happen and I went, no, no, what? And I was watching it like by myself, and my wife came down. I was like, "What's happening?" I was like, "Oh, no, they did that."
I gotta go
watch this right away.
It's so good. Whew. All right, moving on. Where it's some more WTF stuff. In our WTF of the week, Jamie Foxx is reportedly in talks to reprise his role of as the villain Electro in the third Tom Holland-led Spider-Man film for Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures. He returns.
Is this confirmed?
This is they're in talks right now.
They're in talks, okay.
But it's pretty much guaranteed. He returns in an unexpected move since he was part of the Andrew Garfield-led films. Although J.K. Simmons returned to the J. Jonah Jameson role from the Tobey Maguire era of films in Spider-Man Far From Home. This is exciting if they do get him, because that means they're moving in. Like, when we had been talking about this phase right now, I know. I'll go to you, Matt, next. We were talking about how Doctor Strange was talking about the multiverse and of how everything is getting a little bit fucked up. But having Spider-Man fully pull in the Spider-Verse and pulling everyone, give me fucking Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire with Tom Holland, and I'll be fine. I'll just get that Baja Blast out of my pants right now.
Oh no, this is going to be a thing now. Jeez.
They've been in talks with Tobey Maguire as well too.
They've been in talks with him for a long time because they wanted him in the last film.
That is fantastic news. That is really great.
I hope he's not a blue Smurf.
Well, one of the things that's one of the things I think he said in one of his posts. Jamie Foxx said he's like, and I won't be blue either, or something like that.
Good.
I don't mind if he's blue. I just don't want him to be like that.
I didn't mind the blue, like, because like the color kind of worked, but I liked I liked him like when he was still wandering the street in the hoodie.
Yes,
Like
I like that.
That was
that was a good
cool.
look.
Electro. I was like, oh shit, it's like gritty. Like doesn't understand his powers. Electro.
Yeah.
But as soon as he was in a rubber suit with some like battery thing on his head, I was like, oh fuck this. No, no.
Yeah, that whole
Like,
movie
they always
at that
do
point
that.
kind of went off the rail.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
why
let's
do they do
add
that?
Green Goblin as well, just at the end. Why not?
Oh fuck.
Totally. And then throw the rhino
How
in.
many?
Oh, the rhino! Oh no, that was so sad.
That could have
Sandman,
gone
Venom.
somewhere.
Who do you got?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's interesting that I did not know about this news, and of course we were just talking the last time or the time before when we tried to do the stunt episode about multiple Batmans being in talks.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah,
it's like,
yes,
I mean,
yes.
this is obviously to pander to people like us, but I still think it's super cool, and I'm okay with it. You know, so
Well, it's
as long as they do it well.
It ties in with we talked about it on the Fabled Lost episode a bit. We didn't get a chance to talk about it since then. It's that it all signs right now are pointing to this new phase of Marvel being multiverse driven.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
This with between this and there's also the Krasinski rumors going around about him coming in to play Cap.
See,
From an
the
alternate
rumors I
universe.
heard for Krasinski is him playing Reed.
There's been both.
Reed Richards. Oh,
Yeah.
I
No,
would
there's
love him
there's
as Reed.
there's both floating
Yeah.
around. They talked to him about Reed. They talked to him about playing Cap.
But when they
Or
talked to him
maybe he
about
plays both.
about
Well-
Reed, they're talking about him and his wife joining on as a power couple for Fantastic
Yes.
Four.
Yeah.
And now I'm down with
but-
that, man.
But the funny part is that there's someone else when these rumors started flying around about stuff like that. There's someone else that said he would love to come back to reprise a multiverse role, and that's Chris Evans would love to come back and play
About to
Johnny
say.
Storm.
Yeah,
my God,
could you
he's so
imagine?
good.
Oh,
Well, think about
so
it.
weird.
If he's like full on flame on Johnny Storm all the time,
you don't know?
yeah, it kind of works.
He was good at both roles.
He
It's
was.
amazing to
Dumb.
see him.
But it
Although
would be funny.
I would like to see Michael B. Jordan play him again. I like Michael B. Jordan, and he was
On
wasted.
Prin- Principle,
Michael B.
I
Jordan in
would.
anything.
Although
But that
he,
whole movie was just such a
Yeah.
I would love to see it,
Clusterfuck.
but not if they're casting Krasinski and his wife as
yeah,
yeah.
too, because that would be not in line with how Marvel has done their work
Yeah.
up till this
Yeah. That's a better exciting investment, I think.
Yeah. I feel like we're all just fangirling over things that'll never actually happen.
point. Sure.
I hope.
Yeah.
I feel like
we'll
the if they do multiverse, adding the Fantastic Four into this would be a perfect timing, just because of Reed Richards and him dealing with the dimensions and the universes. I think that would just be a great.
If I had to guess, if they are really using WandaVision as kind of the jump off point for all this,
Yeah.
having it just build into this great multi-universal clusterfuck, and then having Reed come in and kind of clean up the mess.
Yeah,
You can then bring them in from any other universe and come to 616 or whatever the MCU is designated as, and fix it, and then just be, we're stuck here now because we can't go back, but we're here, and they don't have to worry about where have they been the whole time. It's like, no, they didn't even exist. Now they're here. Poof.
could you
magic.
imagine if the reason we haven't seen mutants at this point is because Wanda, and like way earlier, had done a House of M type thing?
Yeah.
I'm
They,
willing to bet that's probably what they've done.
Oh,
they'll probably use a reason for that when they're
Yeah.
ready. Yeah.
goosebumps!
But this is a really excited time for, like, I know a lot of people were really sad, like, oh, Endgame, it's the end of the 10 years of Marvel and everything. But I honestly got really excited because, like, the idea of multiverse, quantum, the quantum realm, and like all this kind of shit, this is gonna open up so many other possibilities. I'm like the Eternals, I'm very excited for what they're gonna go through. Multiverse is going to be insanely cool, and then whatever they plan on doing with this next Spider-Man thing, if it ties in, like, that would be really awesome. Like, there's just so many possibilities, and I know a lot, like, I've been talking with a lot of friends who have been like worried about, like, oh, I think they've drummed everything up, they don't have anything else. I'm like, oh, fuck you, I have no
Bullshit.
idea.
They got a
You
lot
have
of stuff.
no
Come on.
idea.
Did you hear the rumor
I'm
that
like,
they?
you haven't seen, like, the tip of the iceberg that is that universe that out there. There are so many more powerful people. People are like, oh, what's going to be more powerful than Thanos? I'm like, oh, fuck, man, you don't know. Oh, give it time.
Did you hear
You
the
think
rumor?
Thanos was a fucking toast up.
Did you hear the rumor that they've already cast Miles Morales, but they're not announcing it until things have
Really?
calmed down?
Really?
Ooh, nice,
Wow.
nice.
I'll be amazed if they can keep that under wraps.
Oh, Can we also do a little sidetrack? I'm not sure if you
Yeah,
have this
yeah.
in your
Go for it, I don't care, go for it.
news
Do it,
things.
man.
But the casting for Miss Marvel.
Oh,
Yes,
yay.
yes.
An unknown Canadian actress of
Yes.
name I'm looking up right now.
Iman Vellani.
Yeah.
Vellani.
Her first role, that's awesome.
First role, and
She looks like her. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
like they actually cast it properly. That's
She's from
really nice.
Markham.
And it's a
Markham,
Canadian.
Ontario, yo.
Yeah, like a freaking unvetted, like a new Canadian actress taking up such an amazing role. Like that is.
Well,
so
we have
cool.
Shang-Chi, who's also Canadian. Her,
Right.
who's Canadian. Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
We're taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just-
isn't there like a Moon Knight rumor now with Keanu Reeves now? Or
Yes.
I heard
Yeah.
that too.
That's been floating
That-
around
that's-
since they.
that is-
forever, yeah.
That he could
Keanu
go in
Reeves-
and do
well,
the TV show and that, and it could spin off
Keanu
into
Reeves
a
is
movie.
been in talks to be in the MCU
Something.
for a long
Although-
time.
a year.
There are rumors that he's because they've been talking to Lawrence Kasdan, is that right?
Kasdan, yeah.
That they're gonna do another Constantine movie
Ooh.
set in
I
that
would love
universe.
Oh,
So
yeah.
set in his
Honestly,
universe, not in.
Well, everyone wants a piece of him, so it doesn't matter. He'll do whatever.
it's one of
on
his
both
favorite
sides,
movies
so.
that he's done, Keanu Reeves. So
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure about you guys. I actually really liked Constantine.
me too.
Like
I watched it the
liked
other
a
day.
lot. Yeah,
Even Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
I liked the movie. I didn't. If they'd called it anything but Constantine, it would have
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah,
It was
I
a great.
like that
Yeah.
there was a lot of like a lot of that kind of
Yeah.
problem.
Well, actually, no, I should say it. It was Constantine. It wasn't Hellblazer, and that was the problem that I
Yeah.
had. Is it should have been
Sure.
Hellblazer.
Yeah.
It was like everything was there. It was just he wasn't him, right?
He wasn't
they-
the
they
right
didn't-
Constantine.
They didn't let it go as far as it should have to get it to where it needed to
But
be.
could you imagine if Keanu actually, if they made him do a British accent? You're gonna sit there like,
Oh no.
Yeah, he tried that, and was it Much
No.
Ado About Nothing? I can't remember which one. It was horrible.
Bram
Yeah.
Stoker's,
Bram Stoker's
Dracula.
Dracula.
He did it.
That one too, yeah. It's terrible.
Let's talk
though.
about that movie today.
Love you, Keanu, but no.
we
never
do
will.
love you.
Oh yeah, I love Keanu.
Okay. Continuing on the news. Hey, look, parenting news, maybe sort of.
Oh,
Sort
Well,
of.
this ties in.
Yeah, sort of. J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot Productions, and Warner Animation Group are set to produce 3 feature films based on the Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat, set to release in 2024. The spin-off Thing 1 and Thing 2, set for 2026. And Oh, the Places You'll Go in 2027. I look forward to seeing the cat not being mentioned in the second film and then returning as the antagonist for some odd reason in Oh, the Places You'll Go in the third film. Just randomly
Cool.
show up. J.J. Abrams. That's a
Cute.
knock at you.
It's they're animated. They said it was Warner.
Yeah, they're
Animation.
3D animation. So, Steve,
Awesome.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
not taking the bait. I'm not taking.
Take the
I'm not
bait,
taking
damn it!
No.
They'll call it the rise of
I
the
won't do
place,
it.
the rise of the cat.
Oh, god damn it!
They're kids'
If
films.
I-
They're children's films.
If I'm understanding this correctly, then Dr. Zeus is getting its own extended universe.
Yeah, so this is gonna be in a Seuss world type thing where
See,
they're
a
gonna all
better
connected.
analogy, Eric. So you've got me into this now. Is if
Damn
they suddenly revealed in the third film that the Grinch was behind it all along.
Oh yeah, that would have made a much better
See,
idea.
That would have been.
Damn, I
better.
didn't think about that.
Yes.
There you go.
Do you guys know who Patty?
But only if they reveal that the Grinch was behind it all on Fortnite. There you go.
Nice. Oh, that's multi-layered. I like that.
Nah.
No,
Yeah.
no, Eric's angry.
Stupid for anyway. British actor Paddy Considine, yeah, he was in Hot Fuzz in The Death of Stalin, has been cast as Viserys Targaryen, aka King Viserys the First, in the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel series House of the Dragon at HBO. The prequel series is expected to air in 2022. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Yay,
It could be
Game of
alright,
Thrones
who knows?
fans.
I don't. I'm sure there's still some currency left that they can. I mean,
If
I mean,
they're
this is
not
what they're
yeah.
doing with Star Wars now, right?
But
It's
they're
just
not
like,
dealing
we
with
can't go
books, so I'm
forward
gonna be fine
anymore.
with it, right? I'm just
Yeah.
Like,
But it's exactly like Star Wars. It's like, we fucked up the end so hard. Okay, well, we'll go back
Yeah.
300 years and then it'll be
It's-
okay, right?
here's
It's
the
exactly
thing.
the same.
here's the thing. Cool. They're doing a prequel. Neat. I really want George R.R. Martin to finish the damn books first. before
he's
they
not
do
doing
it.
anything with the series.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just done.
No.
Books. Books are done.
this,
Yeah.
I just feel
No,
like
I'm not talking about the prequel series. I want him to finish writing the
Yeah,
goddamn
yeah,
book.
yeah.
I just. I
so
don't
you
care
know
about
the
anything
real
else.
ending.
Just give me the book.
Exactly.
One more book.
He was.
And I don't care what else you do with it, but give me the original method of conveying the story to me before you're doing a spin-off on a spin-off that whatever. Fuck it.
There's an interview with him or the D&D guys, I don't know, or whatever. Anyway, something to do with the series, and he was talking about how not having Lady Stoneheart in the series was a detriment to the ending of the books. Who knew?
No shit, really?
Right?
Weird. Fucking interesting that.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, she's so entwined in it, and we're like, obviously she's entwined. She's very important in the books.
This is what happened. Yeah. Wow, weird. She didn't show up, and then that made it problematic. Wow, fucking interesting. Who'd have thought that's what was going to happen?
Here's the news item that's not on there because it just came out.
Oh no.
So Amazon recently announced that they are planning a spin-off of their series of The Boys. The new series is going to be based on the G-Men, which in the books is a parody of the X-Men. So, yeah.
More filming in Hamilton, yay!
And Toronto. Man, they really pulled out all the, hey, this is the Hamilton spot, and here's the Toronto spot that everyone films. In this most recent season. By the way, the finale is, I think, this week. It's this Friday, right?
It is.
If you guys who are watching or listening, I'm debating, because you're going to do watch parties on Twitch, I'm debating just streaming the last episode if you guys want to watch it together.
Does it come out Friday?
Friday.
So that means I have to catch up by Friday?
You said you were going to do that anyways.
Yeah, but I haven't, and I don't have time.
Where are you at?
There's
Where are you at with it?
He hasn't started.
I haven't started the second season.
There's only 9 episodes. Just start now.
I can tell he hasn't because he doesn't have the 1,000-yard stare that everyone that has sat through season 2 to this point.
That's why I have not watched this show.
Because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh no, I don't even think it's that. There's stuff in the last episode you're just like,
I know. It's just generically a once you've seen it, you can't unsee it of that season.
It is
but
interesting.
Also, yes, Hawk.
Yeah.
I don't know what that gesture means. I do not want to know.
You'll know.
You'll know. No, you can't make me. I don't like the way you guys snickered there. It's interesting though. We were just talking about how Netflix is like, cutting everything, and Amazon, I guess maybe because of their business model, because everyone's buying shit at home, right, is able to sustain expansions on their shows, right? Like they don't have as many projects going on, but I feel like they generally spend more money on each of their projects. So it is interesting that they're still willing to throw additional cash at this project, right?
Yeah.
So
plus they have their giant show next year, right? Lord of the Rings is supposed to come out next year.
Oh, is it actually going to be coming out though?
They've been filming. Yeah. They've still been filming. They're filming in New Zealand, where everything's safe.
Where
New Zealand, they squashed it within a month and a half.
Yeah.
So
actually, this is there like a War of the Worlds coming out too? Like,
War of the Worlds is out right
there's
right now.
A couple of War
that's on
of Worlds,
CBC.
Isn't there?
No,
it's a
just
CBC
one
show. Oh, okay. I thought it was Amazon.
At least I don't know if it is on the States, but it's CBC here in Canada.
Okay.
I just remember this commercials. Final thoughts on that? The
spinoff.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right.
Good
more
for you guys.
More.
Give us more.
Universe, please.
Okay. More. Here, what is this sad news right here? Nope, not that one. Yep, that's the one I want to see. Finally, in some sad news, Collider is reporting that Denis Villeneuve's long-awaited film adaptation of Frank Herbert's sci-fi epic Dune is being delayed by nearly a full year. Originally slated for mid-December, the movie has now set an October 1st, 2021 release date.
Called that.
They originally were there saying that Dune might move again because Batman was set on that day by Warner Brothers. But just a couple minutes ago, Warner Brothers has changed the release date of the Batman, originally from October 1st, 2021 to March 4th, 2022.
No, everything's liquid now. I mean, we knew this. Yeah. I mean, that's why they threw the New Mutants out to die, because no one knew what was going to happen, like how many people
and
are
apparently
actually
it's
horrible.
Come out.
Oh yeah, I still have to watch it. I like that expression. Oh, okay. Matt is shaking his head.
I can't wait to watch it now.
I will now have to watch it.
It will anger you because you will have the same problem I had. You will see what it could have been.
Yeah.
And you will see every bit of studio interference that made it the piece of garbage that it is.
Oh God. Okay.
Is it worse than Inhumans?
The series?
Worse than Inhumans.
here's the thing.
Inhumans
There
was
are-
longer though.
There are
Much
exactly
longer.
3 like definitive moments in that movie where I'm like, this is where they made a cut. This is where the studio made them change what happened. This is a reshoot because the studio wanted to change this.
To go back, yeah.
And it was like definitively like it's like, all of a sudden it doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
I have to do like a Fantastic Four versus New Mutants
Wait.
comparison part.
Fan Four
And there
Stick
was-
or
and
Fantastic
there-
Four?
Four stick.
Fan Four Stick. Okay.
There was a character they cut out of the New Mutants that I actually did some digging on that they actually cut out that really angered me that they cut him out.
Well,
Here's a question. Oh, sorry. Here's a
No,
question.
go ahead.
Why do studios even bother hiring directors anymore?
well, it's a
If
complex.
if a team of lawyers who turn producers are just going to come in and like do some sort of bullshit consensus change to any scene in a movie that they want, and that what is a director's role in this anymore?
The thing is, if you go back into movie history, and Marcus probably knows more about this than any of us, right? Like the way films are made are not as clean as we think, right? There's people who have the money bags, or the producers, right? They go and they hire everybody, but they have a lot of influence. It takes a producer of unique talent and vision to bring the right people together and to allow the right elements to do what they want. But everybody these days, like there's so many movies being made, are just these rich guys who just they don't understand those unique qualities, right? And they just boss everybody around. They go, oh no, people want this now, even though they don't have their finger on the pulse, which is why so many movies are getting screwed up now, because we don't have, like, Dino De Laurentiis, of course, one of the most prolific producers of history, has been quoted as saying one of his biggest regrets is that he screwed up Dune. He actually, he made so many amazing movies, and he let a lot of movies get made the way that they were supposed to be. But with Dune, I don't know what happened there. He might have gotten cold feet, or maybe he wanted a more Star Wars-y, and it got totally screwed up,
It was.
right?
It was. He wanted more Star Wars in it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the things later, he regretted, that he actually did put his finger on the balance for that one. So that's the reason. It's like anytime a movie actually comes together, it's a minor miracle, frankly.
Have you guys watched Netflix's Hollywood by Ryan Murphy?
No.
Yes.
There are parts where they talk to studio heads, and there are producers who are trying to get the money for movies, and he's like, no, we only make these movies and these movies. People like these movies and these movies. Like, it's so
Yeah. They think they know it all.
Yeah.
And this is something we'll end up talking about at some point if we talk about Blumhouse or Asylum. Like, we do a whole episode on these two. These are they're engines for really, really cheap shit that makes money. And they've just got the model down, right? But no one would ever say that is top-notch filmmaking. And yet you get things like Get Out, every once in a while, something just gets through, that process.
It gets out?
Anyway. Yes.
This isn't the final news from Warner's. They also delayed The Flash by 5 months to November 4th, 2022. Shazam 2, 7 months to June 2nd, 2023. The Dwayne Johnson-led Black Adam has been pulled from the schedule altogether.
After
It's in limbo again.
Yeah. So it was supposed to come out December 22nd, 2021. Also, apparently there was a film adaptation of Minecraft originally set for March 4th, 2022.
Well, as long as it has Mila Jovovich in it, I'm fine with that. Okay, that's
Mila
all I want.
Jovovich just fucking knocking out boxes, building up fucking towers that just go up to the sky for no reason.
A cubic Mila Jovovich, hacking monsters.
In one bit of good news, one bit of release news, Lana Wachowski's The Matrix 4 has been moved up by 4 months. Originally, it was slated for April 2022, and now it's going to open Christmas next year. And they have been filming that.
Dates.
They've been filming it for a while now. Because
That's fine. No, I'm happy that the
Except
movies are
no one's
going to
be at the
actually
theater.
made. But that's just it. Like when, nothing. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
That's part of the reason why all these movies have been pushed back into 2022 is because they're pushing them back far, so that then if things knock on wood, are at the point where they can open up again and they're manageable and everything's okay, they can pull the dates back up again. But they want to have a date that's like, here's the release date 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So that people know that it's going to happen. It's not like it doesn't exist. It's happening this date. They'll bump it up earlier if they can, but they're not going to.
It's all math, right? I mean, they know how much money they put in. They know how much money they want to get out, and a strong opening is vital to recouping losses, right? Because it's not even just about coming out even. People invest in movies to triple, quadruple the money they put in. It's not about doubling. It's about going way, way beyond. So yeah, this is all like damage control at this point because they know they can't open now.
At this point, it's not even a matter about a strong opening. They need to be able to have a opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I think it really is actually breaking even at this point, which is sad. But these are the things that they're going to have to do.
Yeah. I'd be fine with them just taking these movies and thinking, hey, you know what? This really long movie, I can make it into 4 1-hour specials and then edit it into one really long movie.
That sounds preposterous. I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to do that.
And every hour of that 4 hours is just me jerking off on the screen and telling myself how great I am.
Baja Blast.
Well, as long as it requires a whole month of subscription to a streaming service, I could stand by that.
There you go.
Perfect.
Well, any final thoughts on this stunt cast?
I just want to say I'm sorry, Matt Damon. We completely ran out of time.
But
Poor Tony Jaa gets screwed again in our episode.
Just like in real life. Oh man.
I had some really nice things to say about him.
Yeah. Sorry,
Next
David
time,
Bell.
Dad.
No one's gonna talk about you
Time.
ever again. Poor David Bell.
One of these days we'll get the episode.
One day. So our next episode is gonna be some sort of scary thing. Matt's gonna drum up something.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna burn every news outlet so I don't have the news take over the episode.
no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I don't even know how I'm gonna title this episode. Let's be honest, I don't know because
The geeks tackle the news. There you go.
the geeks take on geek news. Geek news for all. Hey.
Big news for all.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us on our first live stream of Geeks with Kids. We will be airing every other Monday at about 9:30ish. Depends on how, it depends when we get out of bed and whatnot.
We keep it loose.
Yeah. Baja Blast.
That's just a thing
I
now.
don't want this to be a thing.
It
we
is
already
a-
have a couple
It's a
things.
It just
Damn
gonna
it.
It's already a
Damn
next
it.
next time I'm just gonna make a button and it's just gonna have like a Baja Blast on the screen. And it's just gonna be like,
Blast is my
splash,
yum.
splash. It is your yum.
No! Stop it!
Well, thank you guys
No,
for
don't do the face now too. God damn it.
Thank you guys for coming on and talking about stunts with me, and thank you all for listening to us. We will come back to this
man.
I don't even know if we can do it in November because we have Assassin's Creed we have to talk about.
We'll figure it out.
PlayStation
Figure it
5 is coming, so we're going to have an episode about that.
You know, once that PlayStation shows up on our doorsteps, all fucking bets are off.
Yeah, we might as well call the PlayStation 5 the stunt episode again. I mean, because it'll just be PlayStation 5 at that point.
So let's see. Next one, we're going to do scary
Horror,
movies.
big horror.
The next one after that, we'll probably do
Viking stuff.
either Ubisoft, like, because I want to talk about Assassin's Creed, and if you guys like Watch Dogs, I love Watch Dogs.
But hey,
Yeah,
here's the
yeah.
idea. Let's figure that out after we wrap up the episode.
No, they like hearing us talk. No.
Yeah, we're so
No.
professional.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for
Thanks.
coming to listen. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.